Hello, everyone. Before we start this week's episode of Slightly Average Guys, we want to tell you about a special event. Friday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Arizona time, we're going to do a Slightly Average Guys drinking fest. We're going to be hanging out, playing games, drinking, and there might even be some special guests, so please make sure you join us. This isn't going to be a show format, it's just to come out and hang. So come join us live Friday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Arizona time. We hope that you enjoy this episode of Slightly Average Guys.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another podcast episode of your Slightly Average Guys. This is a podcast where we just do kind of average stuff, you know. Don't expect above and beyond. We just like to keep it average. I just heard today from another podcast like, you have never seen this before. No. We're just gonna knock it down a notch and keep that hype way down, okay?
Yeah, set the bar low so that way it's easily cleared by us.
Low expectations, high bar. Okay.
I like
That's even a thing.
I like it, but that's because we're slightly average. You know, we don't try to overachieve. We don't try to underachieve. We're just right there. You know, there are some times where we're overachieving. You know, as you know, every time. Never mind. I was about to say something, and I'm trying to clean it up a little bit. Some of the feedback's been stop so much. So
yeah. Oh. And so if you're listening, you know, and you want us to talk about something that we haven't talked about before, hit us up at that Gmail, slightlyaverageguys@gmail.com. I don't think anybody has ever emailed us yet.
Yes, they have.
They have?
Yes. It's
what?
Friends and family, but yes.
Okay. Oh. All right, cool. Well, feel free to do it more often, slightlyaverageguys@gmail.com. And then, of course, like, share, and follow as always. Appreciate you guys joining.
All right.
Thank you, Heather, for emailing.
We had one person.
Katie did as well.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to get into this week. We're throwing a whole bunch of different ideas around on Discord. Just, coming up with random topics like we always do. And one popped into my head mostly because I'm working from home as everybody else is. But what's different about this week is my wife and my son are back in Indiana. So I am bacheloring it all of this week.
Yeah. What's up?
Which sounds like a blast, which sounds like, hey, yeah, it's totally just you can do whatever you want. And realistically, Andy and Ryan asked me like literally 2 minutes before we went live, hey, like, you've been a bachelor, like, how's it been? I'm like, well, if I pan the camera left and right, this is where I've lived, literally right here this whole entire time, outside of a little bit of cleaning that I've been trying to do every single day to get caught up. And but the one major difference is I've been cranking the tunes all day long, which is funny enough. I think I'm gonna go get the speakers out of the garage. And
little bachelor speakers.
I think I'm gonna set them up behind me so it's part of like different little scenery, and plus I can just jam out then whenever I want to, or annoy the hell out of the neighbors.
That's awesome.
So nice. I was like, all right, what do I play? I'm like, man, I was like, do I do 90s? Do I do current stuff? I'm like, I really hate most of the current stuff that's out there. I don't care what it is, country, bluegrass, rap, hip hop. For some reason, I think all of it sucks right now. So if I wanted to listen to that, I just turn on the radio and hear the same 15 songs over and over again. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just type in 2000s and click go, which is random because I use YouTube Music, which used to be Google Play Music, and was
way amazing.
Don't even
get me started.
It was amazing. Like, it would always play whatever you want.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
YouTube Music sucks. You guys got to step up your game if YouTube's actually listening to our stream right now. But yeah, it's not that great.
Step it up.
So it's just on trying to like play stuff, right? Like when you want it to play, just, hey, I want this type and go. Google used to be awesome. YouTube's not so great. But this time I'm like, I'm just going to do hits, like 2000 hits or something. I don't even know if I did that. If I just did 2000 and click enter and go, and it just started playing some jams. I mean, it was some really good jams. And for the statement I'm about to make, I graduated in 2002. So very early 2000. Ryan graduated like 2 years ago. So, it's,
2.5. Okay. Damn. Jeez. Give me a break.
But I was trying to give an example so everybody knew the current age bracket that I'm in. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is, what are some songs that can be played? And like, I'm not talking about you get like halfway through the song. I'm talking about with like in the first 5 seconds that the song is played can instantly take you back to a time in high school where it's like a stupid memory, a funny memory, just like takes you instantly back there. And I'm talking like deep memories. Like there's some times where like I'll get certain smells and for some reason it instantly takes me back to like elementary school, walk in, everybody's single file, has to follow this like little like tile path inside it. Like for some reason smells can sometimes trigger those types of things with me, but
which I think we talked about.
Yes.
That was we definitely talked about.
Yeah, but in this case, like it's songs, right? And you know, for me, it's anytime, and it's almost any of them, but because he was huge back then, but it's almost any Nelly song, right?
Okay.
You know,
my gosh.
yeah, like Hot in Here, you know, anything with the Saint Lunatics, like any of that stuff can take me back to the same exact thoughts. So I'm throwing it that it's almost any Nelly song from back in that time.
Wow,
You
I
know?
wasn't even thinking any of that stuff. You just blew my
Yeah.
brain. I'm not even kidding you, and that's probably like even before my time. But like I'm having a real hard time with like some of these today, and I don't know why.
And
I don't know,
Dan,
my
Dan's in
brain's
the
just not
chat.
functioning.
Dan's in the chat, and he's like ludicrous. And what's funny is if somebody would ask me, "Hey, I'm gonna throw out a name of a song, and you tell me who it makes you think of," and if somebody says Bone Crusher, instantly think of Dan. Instantly think of his, Ford Ranger in the back of the parking lot at high school because he always came pulling up, blasting that song because we were all car guys. Everybody had huge radios, ridiculous cars. So, again, just things that trigger memories. So Ryan needs a little bit more time because, Barney and Friends is the only thing that he can currently think of. So, Andy.
Yeah, Andy, please go.
What about you?
Okay, I got a couple.
All right.
So, mine are all related to sports. I played a lot of sports in high school, mostly baseball, occasionally football, whatever. But so first one is by the Monkees. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Going way back.
Yeah. What is it? Daydream Believer. So, and that, and I can't remember the other one. It was very, very popular at that moment, like kind of almost one hit wonder. So I didn't go to high school down in Phoenix. So we came down here for a baseball tournament, and one of the guys like in the room that we shared left his song on repeat all night. And it was Daydream Believer. So like the whole night, I mean, I like subconsciously, right? So then we were giving him crap about it the next day. And then the next night he left on, I'll find it and we'll come back to it. But it was like something where you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that song. The next one is Daft Punk. It was the very first time I ever heard them. And it was Around the World. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that like when I was a senior in high school, that is the first time I heard that song. And again, it was baseball related. So every day at practice, this one kid in particular, actually same Yahoo that left his music on at our in the room, we would play that all day on repeat every practice for baseball. So that was like it, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, I feel like it's the quintessential, like I graduated high school in 1999. Quintessential like high school cheerleader dance. Crazy Town, Butterfly.
Yep.
So those were my ones.
The another one that pops in, man, it just went in my head and went right out of my head. Was the Crazy Bitch. Is that the same thing? Buck Cherry? Right?
Buck Cherry.
Yeah, but that's not high school. That
Yo,
was after
crazy.
I was drinking and by that point.
That's probably my high school.
Yeah, that's I was trying to think of something that gets closer to Ryan's that's not necessarily my high school because that was way past my high school.
So, and I have a couple if it's my turn, if
Yes.
you guys are ready for this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't expect really anybody to know this. Hopefully you at least know one of them. And I wrote them down here, so I'm kind of looking at this other screen. But also baseball player, right? And we during practice, during like walkout music to your batting, you played music sometimes in between innings, all that good stuff. Rise Against Savior. If you guys have ever heard of Rise Against, that's the name of the band.
Can't say, and
Savior.
I wish I could go play clips, but we would instantly get muted on all of our streaming platforms. So
Yep, and that's totally okay. But just Google it. It's one of these things that I was constantly like, it was the song of baseball. We played it on the bus. We played it during practice. People played it during walk-up music. It was just my song, and I absolutely loved it.
So then, you made me do this like 3 weeks ago. I'm gonna make you do it now. I'm gonna need you to sing me a clip of this.
Yeah.
Kills me not to know this, but I'm all but just forgotten what the colors of her eyes were and the scars of how she got them.
What's funny is I had no clue what you were talking about until you started singing it. Now I know.
I'm like I'm skipping some words and I'm probably interchanging some words because I'm not fully knowing it. But
that was good. That was good. Brad in the chat, he's saying Linkin Park. Anything by Linkin Park will bring up some good time memories. Which is really fun. So, you guys mentioned Ryan did. I don't know about Andy, but you both said baseball. But I was thinking bus. I was in marching band and we had weird traditions of like doing things that we called like hype. As we're getting ready for things that we're playing music, we're telling stories and stuff. All the seniors were always in the back of the bus. They commanded everything. It was our to run. So, did you guys have anything like that was like, hey, let's get, literally hype's the best word for it. I don't know what else. So, You did?
Yeah. So sports related, right? Like football, obviously you do, but same thing in baseball. So driving, because we had to take these long bus rides to the next town over or whatever. Just some random song that was like the flavor of the week or the month. And it was typically some country song or like Tim McGraw was really popular and Faith Hill and stuff like that. So there was always some sort of weird thing or baseball was like towards the end of the year. So I can't remember if prom happened before or after, but like whatever that was in that moment, so we would have some sort of song that we would sing on the way that would get everybody would just kind of get fired up over, which was silly because it was the most ridiculous song ever. Like, why are you getting hyped over this? And there was no music, right? It was just us singing it.
That makes it even worse. Like, you got, because Ryan just sung something and, we all felt that really well.
Yeah.
So the reason why I brought that question up is because, everybody always had like the crappy boom boxes and like, like, that at least had CD players and stuff. And you would try to play that and like, it would only play so loud. Well, me being the jackass that I am, got together with my buddy and I was like, hey, Chris, I got this crazy idea. I was into subwoofers, car audio. Like I had the most ridiculous stuff ever in my vehicle, but I had all this extra stuff sitting around that I hadn't ever, used in a long time because I had upgraded. So I'm like, hey man, I think I could put like a subwoofer, some broadcast speakers, an amp, but I need to figure out how to run it. I was like, well, we'll just bring a car battery. So you got a car battery in the bus, this stuff. So I'm going to show you a photo here. I need to share this with you and then that to everybody that's watching. So this is
that is fantastic.
This is us setting it up on this is the first time that we had ever put it on. And for those audio listeners, it's literally the back of the bus. With a sub, an amp, a whole bunch of wires, and what you can't see is the car battery that's sitting under the seat next to it. And
wow,
it had 40 feet. We had a car audio radio deck for a CD player that we pulled out, and I had like 40 foot of wire that we wired that thing up. So we like literally passed the whole CD player around like all the way up to the front of the bus, and anybody could play whatever they wanted as each song got done, and you would just keep handing it up, which ended up being really, really fun. So it was super loud, ridiculous. It was just a blast. It was a hard time keeping the battery charged because we were like on trips that were like 3 hours to get to a place and then 3 hours home, later on at night, and it was dead by the time that we got there. So cut to the fact that I wanted to step it up from that. I'm like, hey, that's just not fun enough. We really need to, crank this up. And here's why the battery never lasted. We decided, well, let's put an inverter in it and then we can plug whatever we want in it. So we ended up with 120 foot of rope light that we ran all around the inside of the bus. We ended up with strobe lights. I tried to plug a fog machine in and it instantly blew the breakers out of the thing. So I had to ixnay that.
This is literally a modern day party bus.
Yes. Yeah. Legitimate.
Yeah.
Like I had a strobe light. We had red lights and blue lights like that cops would have, you know, that you could magnet on the top of your vehicle. Well, I had them, you know, magneted inside the bus. So like right as we had started it, where we just had like 20 feet of rope light and the audio, I get called into the band director's office after one of the weekends, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, oh, it's a lot of fun. He's like, "Yeah, we got reported." He's like, "Did anybody talk to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, the bus driver talked to me, and she was freaking out about the battery." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You can't have an open battery on a bus." He's like, "It's a safety hazard, man. You understand that?" He's like, "I like what you're doing, but it's a safety hazard. You can't do that." I'm like,
Isn't this like the 1990s? Like, geez.
It was 2001, you know? So I was like, all right, I get it. You can't.
There's no safety hazards yet.
Yeah. No, I legitimately, like, it's a lead acid battery. It's not like a gel battery. Like, if it fell over, like, it would pour acid out. I'm like, all right, I actually get
the. You think it's lithium ion?
So I get it. But here's Ryan back in the day, because this is Brad and Dan and everybody, you know, and you guys know me. I'm one of those that, okay, if you're going to tell me something, I'm going to take you very literally and figure out a way around what you just told me without getting in trouble.
Yep.
So 1 week went by and didn't do it. Backed it off. Because I got told on like a Friday we had the next show on Saturday. So we spent a week and decided, hey, I'm just going to
watch yourself.
Yep. I'm decided. All right. Well, they told me I just can't have an open battery. So
this is legitimately how you think current day.
Yes. So I'm like, I mean, but this is instant. I'm not trying to figure a way around it. I'm like, well, they told me I just can't have an open battery. All right, I'm already bringing a cooler. I'll just bring a little bit bigger cooler and then drill a hole in the side of that, run the freaking wires in it, and, you know, clip it on. To which it was one bus driver that hated it. The other bus drivers that we had loved it. They were like, this thing's freaking hilarious. So the next week that I didn't have it, we didn't have that bus driver. Then the week that I then brought it again, I had that same damn bus driver, and we had added all these lights and everything else to it. She comes running back there. She's like, "What are you guys doing? What do you have?" I was like, well, you told me I couldn't have the battery. She's like, "Oh, so where's the battery? What's it run off of?" I was like, "It's contained inside," and I said inside the subwoofer box. You know, I was like, it's all running off of itself. She's like, real pissed. Gives me this look, evil eye. I'm watching you. It's like, technically, you got me. You know, you got me. It's funny. So that same show, I hadn't gotten it cleared by anybody. And one of the directors comes by and goes, "Hey, on down low, do you have that?" I'm like, "Are you trying to bait me into a question that I shouldn't be answering?" He's like, "No."
What?
Yeah, he's like, "No." He's like, "I want to do this thing when we're out over here in this area and play this music and stuff." He's like, "You're the only one that has the equipment that can do this." He's like, "Do you have it?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Well, bring it over." So then play this thing. It's hilarious. Get called back into the director's office again that week. And he's like, "So what happened?" I'm like, they just said that. He's like, "Here to the letter of what they said." He's like, "They can't complain." He's like, "She didn't report anything, but I did hear about it." He's like, "But if they say something or whatever else," he's like, "we got to cut it out." I'm like, "Cool." So cut to, we have a state finals, do that state finals. And then there's another one that's called like Grand National Band. I'm getting way deep into band geek stuff, but then that's like everybody from all around the country. So it's more than just your state. That one, it's like less, you know, hey, we're really trying to win because we know we're not. It's more just like, let's have a hell of a lot of fun because this is a show we normally wouldn't get to play. So we get like 23rd. We don't get into the very final show because we like played like 3 or 4 times. Don't get into the very final show. We go out in the parking lot. There are bands that are like crying that they didn't get into this and stuff. You cut to our bus. Okay. All these lights, all this strobe stuff. The music is blaring. We have every window down, the back door open. Everybody is on the bus. Literally the epitome of the party bus. Just having a freaking ball. The director's getting on. We have like, by the way, our band is like 350 kids. We're not a small band. We are a huge band. And like almost everybody is jammed on our bus just right now. Because we're not driving. We're just, you know, hanging out in the parking lot, having a great time. Or around the back of our bus, having a great time. So one of the other directors comes over and he's like, their kids are just distraught. crying and everything else. And he comes over. He's like, "Hey, you guys win? You guys get first place into this?" Our director's like, "No, they're just having a great ass time." So he goes and climbs on our bus and starts like hanging out with us and try to figure out why we're just having such a blast. And all because of that radio. I'm sorry that I went off on a very long tangent, but I just thought of that picture when we started talking about buses.
So as soon as you bring beer into that situation, now you have a tailgate.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, like legitimately, like
you
that was the only thing I was missing.
Sober tailgated.
Yeah. There was a time where I ran out of power, so we unwired the light out of the bus, inside the bus, and like tried to charge it. I was like, that was a stupid ass idea. We popped the breaker, and there was no lights in the bus. But anyway. So that was a very, very long tangent, and I apologize for that, but I appreciate everybody jumping in. I did put a fog machine in my car. Just anybody wants to hear that story, that'll be next week.
You're just ahead of the game, Ryan, because you just basically put a giant vape in your car. You want to be the douchest of the douchiest?
Yes.
Yeah. I got a fog machine in my car, you sons of beep. I tried to be Ryan there.
All right, so then keeping on the music theme that we got going so far, okay? As everybody, I believe, knows, Ryan and I are both from Indiana. Andy is from here in good old Arizona. So I'm going to ask a question, because I already know the answer to it based upon just where we live, and Andy verified it prior to the show starting. All right? Nickelback, the band. Love them, hate them, or you're indifferent, meaning you don't care. I almost know of nobody that says they're indifferent. They are only in the love or the hate category. Okay. I like them. I don't love them. It's not like, hey, I absolutely, want to go see them in a concert or whatever else, but their music comes on. I'm not going to shut it off. It's one of those that triggers different memories. One was a damn road trip that was ridiculous, from Phoenix to here and then back, or Phoenix to Indy and back. So I'm on the love side. Ryan, how about you?
I am also on the love side, but you can't not love them when it was your very first concert that you went to and they were the main performers. You know what I mean?
I don't know why. I'm going to really be honest with you right now. I really thought you were going to say you lost your virginity to it.
No. Oh my God.
I don't know why. Like, there's no way you can't love them when they're in the background, when you're just getting it.
No, it was at something in Chicago, right? Like Tinley Park in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
It was over there. Oh my gosh, I think it was. Oh my gosh, Papa Roach. Yep. Papa Roach.
Okay.
Nickelback was the headliner, and there was somebody else. Oh my gosh, that I can't remember right now. But honestly, it was an amazing concert. If you haven't seen Nick, and I don't even know if they're doing live anymore, right, and on tour, but they put on one hell of a show. And I've only been to one concert of theirs, right, but it was amazing. I think I was like at the end of my high school, career.
So you're saying you actually do have an answer to my original question, which is
love them.
Nickelback is one of the ones that triggers high school memories around that time.
Yeah, I want to say like memories of high school. It's just my first concert, right? Yep. You can't not love your first concert unless like it was bad and then you wouldn't like it.
All right, Andy, how about you? You'd love or hate?
I don't hate them, but I will change the channel if it comes on.
Yeah, see that's in the hate. That's in the dislike column.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, dislike.
It's just how much you strongly dislike. There are a lot of people, like most people that you talk to, like literally have a disdain that they're like, they suck. This is the worst band ever.
Yeah.
Can't believe that. And I have a theory. It's only people from the Midwest that like literally like this band. It's like for some reason it's only that area, that like everybody's like, oh yeah, it's they're not a great band, they're a good band, type of thing. So I don't know if
Nickelback from like
Canada.
Where did they? Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that should not relate to any type of Midwest except. Canada's really nice, and so is the Midwest.
Yeah.
That's the only relationship we have with Canada and the Midwest.
Don't know what you're talking about. That was horrible. I got the boot, but everything leading up to it was bad. Maybe I should do that.
I don't think we should do that. We're gonna make some people mad.
Yeah.
I tried to do that in Canada one time, and Anthony told me, "Hey, Ryan, you probably shouldn't do that."
Yeah. Don't do it when you're in the area of the individual.
We were literally at a dive bar in Canada. I'm just like drunk and kind of dicking around, and he's like, "Ryan, No.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. It's really bad.
It was a lot of fun though.
It's really bad. You should
But hey,
stop that.
quick update on this whole sports thing going on here. If anybody is watching any type of basketball and playoffs right now, Phoenix Suns, we're all living in Phoenix, right? So I'm just watching it. Not really a huge NBA fan, but I like good sports, right? 109-78 Suns over Nuggets.
Whoa. Wow. Domination.
Yeah,
Domination.
That's 30 points, 31 points, ladies and gentlemen.
It's peaking at the right time. That's what that is.
Go Suns. Welcome to the Valley.
All right, let's jump to the next thing. All right, what's your favorite snack that you always wanted as a kid? And Andy, you had a scenario for this, so step up the scenario.
Yeah, so scenario is you just were doing something. You're outside playing. You're playing video games. You just came home from school, and you just had this like go-to snack that you had to have. What was it?
Can't say what I was gonna say or what I said to you guys. Ryan, I'm gonna let you go first because I always go first.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I used to get these things from. It's not Costco. What's the other one?
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club. Thank you. Well, I don't think we had Costco in Indiana.
No.
I don't think so. It was all Safeway, right? And every time my parents went to Safeway, you just buy everything like massive amounts of bulk. And there were these gummies. They were like either mixed berry, they were strawberry, or they were like cherry or something like that. And they came in these like individually squared packages or like elongated rectangle packages. And there was just like a handful, right? If you like took your whole hand and put it in the bag, you'd literally have all the gummies in your hand. So it was a pretty good amount. I ate those things like it was medicine. Like I needed them to stay alive. I am not kidding you. They were the best things ever. My parents always got them for me, and they were magnificent. And I've never found them since, and I'm kind of sad.
Man,
they were amazing.
I gotta be honest. I'm the one that's usually asking the questions, and you guys get stumped. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of stumped on this one because I don't really know which way to go. Like, a candy bar comes to mind, but that doesn't meet your situation because it's like you don't just always have those sitting around unless you're talking like the little baby Snickers bars. I don't even think those existed when I was a kid, but
probably not.
Man, I loved Bugles back in the day. If we're talking like snacks, right?
Like, those like the finger thing?
I loved putting them on my fingers, or for some reason I just love like hanging it out of my mouth. Like, they would just like stay on there, like that like it's like a cigarette, and you're like.
Roger. All we had was popcorn. I mean, popcorn's a great snack. I literally just had popcorn 2 nights in a row.
Well, let's point this out, okay? Graduating from high school, I weighed 97 pounds, right? And because of band and everything else that I did.
Are you serious?
Yes. I could not put on weight. I literally, I could eat a whole grande meal from Taco Bell and still be hungry. I could be, it was ridiculous. I was eating that much food. Protein shakes, like everything else, because I was like actually passing out. I like couldn't keep weight on. I was burning so many calories doing everything.
I was probably like 140 in freshman year, and then I finally got to like 170, 165 my senior year.
No, like I like literally could not keep weight. I was so dead skinny. Like, but I was also like I wasn't like ripped like I had like biceps or abs or anything, because like that doesn't exist on me. It's always just been flat. But like because I was a drummer, like my forearms were ridiculous, like, and you could see all the veins in my arms. My legs were ridiculous because of that. My back was ridiculous because I was carrying that drum, or there were 70-pound drums that we're carrying around all the time, and I'm just blowing past your whacking question. So that would have just been one. You can't do both and keep them both anyway.
Challenge accepted.
All right, well then since we're on the snack, what's a version of a snack that you wonder why isn't made? Okay, and I've thrown this one out to you guys already, but I'm gonna let everybody that's listening here, like a inside out Oreo, right? Everybody loves double stuffed Oreos. How come you can't buy an inside out Oreo, like where it's like literally two creams with one cookie sandwiched in the middle of it? I think that would like sell like crazy. Like they do all these different flavors.
Double stuffed inside out Oreos. And then you could do triple stuffed. No, I think you're basically just selling frosting at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
But by the way, why can't you? Is there Oreo frosting? pretty much sure there is. I think there is Oreo frosting, and if there isn't, that's a whole different, argument that we need to like get into. But, so, all right, I'm gonna give you another one, and I don't eat them anymore. But again, this was
Don't
something
steal ours.
that I loved as a kid. Okay, a double stuffed Pop-Tart.
Huh.
Like my mind wants to explode. Like I didn't come up with that
I
by
think
itself.
those are called toaster strudels.
No, toaster strudel is completely different. That's a pastry, right? It's a pastry. It's not hard. They're both in the.
Yeah.
No.
But toaster strudel's like a fried. Pop-Tart's like a fried toaster strudel.
No, it's not a fried. It's like a dried, already cooked pastry versus the other one's like a raw pastry that's getting cooked. Pop-Tart. They're okay. All right. It's technically like a Pop-Tart is like an 80-year-old woman and I'm going down a path that I shouldn't be going down.
I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna stop you from that path. Can I tell a quick story about a Pop-Tart?
Answer my question first.
I don't have one.
Okay.
Andy, go ahead.
This is tough for me, and I looked up this, and there's some really interesting ideas that exist, but for some reason this popped into my mind. So I had the cereal bowl with the little straw in it. Now I think I was probably more of an adult rather than a kid. So, but the little plastic cereal bowl, and it had the straw in it. I wish that was like edible.
Ooh.
Right. So you could have your cereal, and it would be in the form of a cereal. So maybe it was like Fruity Pebbles bowl or a Cinnamon Toast Crunch bowl. And then, you've got the milk in there or whatever. And then when you're done, you could just eat it.
I literally still have 2 big deep dish Shrek bowls with ears on either side of them. So you like literally hold the bowl with his ears.
Nice.
They're lime green. I still have them. They're
Nice.
amazing.
All right. There was a snack. So Indiana, I don't know if Andy knows this. Indiana was like always like the test bed for everything. Cause like, hey, if we can like sell crap to these people, it'll sell anywhere in the country. So as a kid, there was a snack called, they were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they were like little pizzeria, like circles. They were like called Pizzeria Pops or something like that. I'll have to look it up. But like, dude, those things were so amazing. Like, talking about a jam back from the old days. Like, I would love to have that again, but it's not possible, and almost nobody knows what I'm talking about.
I mean, what about pizza bites? That's not like a snack. Those things were so. I'm sure they still make them, right? Like the little pizza, like pastries.
Yeah. Somebody just texted me, basically down the line of I was thinking with the toaster strudel and
some grandma thing or something.
Well, I went. The grandma was the Pop-Tart and the.
Can I get back to my story about the Pop-Tart, please?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I really want to say it, but I can't.
I don't know. It sounds like I already mentioned this, and maybe I did to you guys, or maybe I was just saying it from somewhere else. But didn't happen to me, happened to a friend of mine, and I just have to mention it because it's hilarious.
Friend.
Back in the day, the Depression happened, right? Like literally, you scrounged for food, you kept everything, you didn't throw anything away, everything was a gift, right? It's 2005, let's call it, and my friend is hungry, and he goes to his grandma's house. He's visiting, he's staying there, and he goes to his grandma's house. He's about ready to leave to go somewhere else, and grandma gives him a snack real quick. Hey, have a snack, on your road. Okay, cool. Thanks, grandma. He instantly opens it up. It's Pop-Tarts, by the way. You haven't figured that out. Instantly opens it up. He's starting chowing on these Pop-Tarts. I love Pop-Tarts, by the way. Cherry's my favorite. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh my, grandma, these are terrible. Where did you get these? I got them from my freezer. And he looked at the package from the freezer. It was from like the 1990s. And this is 2005 to 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight up in this is like 15 to 20 years.
Even 5 is bad. Those things last like 6 months at the most, and then they start having a funky taste to them,
Not if they're in the freezer.
Oh, grandma.
Oh, I just couldn't believe it. I'd honestly be interested in trying 10 to 15-year-old frozen Pop-Tart. I'd be interested. If anybody has one, ship it to me.
Yeah.
DM me. I'll try it, and I'll do a live taste testing.
I I don't like this. I feel like I'm gonna go right now on eBay and see if I can find 15-year-old Pop-Tarts, because if that's happening, then we're gonna really do this.
This is gonna turn into some what do they call that eating stuff like? It's gonna turn into that real quick.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Eating challenge.
I don't know what's going on with me today. I'm sorry.
Man, oh no, I don't see any. I gotta look up vintage Pop-Tarts or something and see if I can find some. All right. So I know this is gonna be a long episode. We're gonna probably cut it up into multiple ones, but for you that are watching live, we appreciate you still hanging in there with us, being complete and utter idiots. Just talking about some really random, stupid stuff, but it's fun for us. So, all right, here's the next one. And it's actually the final one, if unless you guys want to go on to a different topic. But all right, I'm gonna need some good fake names, okay? And I'm talking like fake names, like how did we say we're gonna do this? I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Just type it in the chat.
Okay. I'm gonna come over here. All right, so I'm gonna have Andy read it off as it pops up.
Okay, first one, Willma Fingerdo. Willma Fingerdo.
Okay, so do you guys have any names like that? You know?
I got a couple.
You're right.
Lillian Lifshitz.
Oh God.
It doesn't surprise me that he was ready to go with that.
Yeah, I know.
He like knew.
Yeah, his stupid name. Yeah. So Andy, do you have one that's funny, and then I'll give you my actually Willma Fingerdo was in my top 5, but
so before I give you I have 3.
Okay.
This is a fake name, I think, in some cases, but I actually knew a guy that had this. So when I was in high school, he
had a
girl,
Luther Holopeter. You knew a guy with that?
Oh boy,
is that a disease?
That's a thing from the 50s. There was a shot for that.
Yeah, cream
polio. So this girl in high school, her family's last name was Hawk. So you can imagine what the dad's name was, Michael, right? So, okay. So the first one.
Man, I'm sorry. There was somebody in my that was in all elementary, middle school, and high school. Her last name was Ho.
Oh.
Spell it.
H-O.
Ah.
There was no getting her. It was Ho. And I don't her first name did not help. Okay. And then we always wanted to say her middle name was Izza. And then you put anything. Ryan is a hoe, right? That's what we always wanted to say. And again, not gonna say her whole name just because that's being an asshole. But she was actually really cool. But anyway. Sidebar.
She was a hoe. Okay, so I'm gonna type mine in to the chat, and then we can do that. So, these are my top 3 from least to favorite. Okay. This is number 1.
All right, Andy or Ryan, you say
it. Chuck McRap.
Chuck McCrap.
Oh.
He said it. He said it so literally that it was like
Chuck McRap. I'll say all these. I don't have one.
Number 2.
Juan
Tibone.
Okay, I got that one. That was a nice one.
And then my
Chuck McRap and Juan Tibone. Chuck McRap.
The more you say it
fast.
Yeah.
Oh, my name's McCrap. Chuck McCrap.
The one time Ryan and I were working and he threw out Bob Frapples. Mm-hmm. That literally blew my mind. I laughed. I was probably crying that day, but that was probably 4 years ago now. It's still funny.
Yep. It's Bob.
Okay.
Frapples.
All right.
Okay, and then this is my favorite.
Alfreda Bees. I don't even get it.
I just stepped on my dog behind me. Sorry.
Alfreda Bees.
Alfreda Bees.
Alfreda Bees.
Freda Bees. I'm afraid.
Why do we have to slow it down for you?
I don't get it.
You're just afraid of bees.
Oh, that's
Afraid of
really?
bees.
Oh, I thought it was like a sexual thing and that I was trying to put together, but it wasn't. It's just you're afraid of bees. Okay.
Afraid of bees.
All right.
I'm afraid of bees.
I have.
This is fun reading them out, by the way.
Yeah.
So I have a few.
You got them. Type them in the chat,
yeah.
and I will read them.
All right.
Anything you want, I will read. Allie Durout. Allie Durout.
Allie Durout.
Allie Durout.
I laid
That
her
sounds
out.
like a legitimate name.
I laid her out.
I laid her out.
Allie
Durout. Laid her out. Front or back?
This is some high class comedy that we got going on here, by the way.
This is a good bit. We should do this like
This
every
is-
single
yeah.
week.
Wyatt so juicy.
It's so much better with you reading it rather than me just saying it. Oh,
Oh gosh, this is good.
oh.
Please, for people, don't leave. We need to tell people like
Don't
we need to
leave.
put a little segment like don't if you can get through the first 35-40 minutes of this episode, you have to wait till the end.
That's what I
You
was
just
saying.
have to.
We
is
may
great.
we may just clip this by itself, and then this is
some
a short
slightly
episode.
average comedy right
Yeah.
here.
All right. Here we go.
Why
There we
it's
go.
so juicy. All right, this next one, what do we got? Phil McSusi.
No.
Phil McCucci.
There you go. There you go.
And it's funny because I have no clue what's going through this chat, right? Like I have no idea what's coming next. I don't have paper in front of me stating like, "Oh, Ryan, this one's coming next." I'm just going with the punches here.
Yeah.
And this is some straight up comedy.
Yeah. I literally didn't give you guys any bit of a heads up other than the Willma Fingerdo. All right, next one.
All right. Sorry, I got to get back to that page.
Yeah.
Sherwood Lovehead. Some of these are really easy. Some of these are just Sherwood Lovehead. My name's Lovehead. Sherwood.
Classic. This is a classic.
Phil McCracken.
Yep.
Phil McCracken.
I mean, I just had to add that
It
one.
just sounds like the Kraken, like the rum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This
This
one.
is good rum, by the way.
Is this where are you? Okay, Ryan, where are you getting these from?
These, so, like half of these were totally from my head, and then
Really, no joke.
yeah,
Okay.
and then half of these were TikTok.
Nice.
Wyatt.
Yep.
This next one we got over here is, and again, these are just posts to the comments, so if you have one, feel free. P. Okay, hold on. Oh, I gotta get this one. Okay, Pete Japants. My name is Peter Japants.
Pete Japants.
Pete
Jerpants.
Japants.
Yeah.
Pete Japants.
Pete.
Pete Japants. That's literally like spot on.
Oh man, I didn't write down the other ones though, but because that was like my list plus one. But I have other ones in my head, and just right now they're, here we go.
Wow. All right, what's this next one going on here? Whew, sorry, I'm yawning. All right, next one in the chat, also by Ryan. Ryan's on a roll here. Willie Fisterbottom. Did I read that one right? Willie Fisterbottom.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's
Can
funny?
we please make a sports team with all of these names?
Yeah.
It could be baseball. Let's do basketball since that's like the shortest roster, right?
and
Let's
what-
make a basketball team with all of these names, and I'll announce them.
No, we literally need to like actually Twitch stream a game where we have all of our names are this, and then like there's somebody
Mhm.
announcing the game as well,
Mhm.
in the background.
That
So
would be
did-
great.
Haywood Jablomi just blew away Phil McCracken.
Did you ever see that news clip where there was something happened with an airline?
Oh
And
yes,
They were like alleged terrorists, and somebody made up the names, and
it got
one of them
through.
was Some Ting Wong.
Yes, yeah, somebody got through all the way, and like nobody checked and balanced it. It was like
Yep.
bang my cock, and like
Yeah.
it was
That
all of
was
these
an
things.
amazing clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An amazing clip. That's probably the best clip out there.
So again, I didn't make these up, these names, all right? And what's funny is, like, again, half of them came from me, and I'm gonna tell you where those half came from. I had a buddy that worked at Scott's, which became Kroger, and every day he would come home and be like, "Hey, guess what name was written on the cart today?" And like, it was just random, like the big, packing carts and stuff in the back that they would roll out to stock. He was like, "This name, Willie Fisterbottom, Willma Fingerdo, Bill McCracken, like all these things were just, so they've stuck with me for so long. That's why, like, I can't name them all off if I don't write them down, because it takes a minute for my brain to engage those old school memories.
Funny.
Well, we literally have this recorded and saved, so we're gonna have this forever now.
Yeah. All right. We've rounded third base, and we have.
No, I'm pretty sure we slid into home.
That's
after that
what I'm saying. Like, I was gonna say, we didn't even make it to home, but we're just gonna end it here. We lost the game, but won the war. So we appreciate everybody joining us this week, and being on the crazy, ridiculous ride that you were just on. You got Andy Nassif, aka Phil McCracken, over there. You got Ryan Teeter, aka Ali Durout. That was bad.
I was hoping you'd do Alfredo Bees. Alfredo Bees.
That was better that time.
Alfredo Bees.
That was way better that time. Man, we really just got to pick more funny topics that are just like keep us cracking up and going with it, because I think
we should try.
Yeah,
we should try. That was good.
I appreciate everybody joining us this week, and we will see you guys next week.